But I don't want to start. I know, we have 10 seconds. I don't want to get on. Do you think they hear me? They do. We're going to 3.
Don't force it.
1. Don't force it. Don't force it. Don't
0.
force it.
Nice.
I wanted to force it. I almost did. I'm going to put it back. I want. So right. I almost forced that whole thing. I was going to let's get rid of that thing. I got 3 seconds left. I didn't want to. I'm so impatient. I can't even let the countdown run down, John. I'm just going to bring John on. I'm not going to screw around tonight. Going to get things moving here. How's everybody doing? I hope you're well. There's some funny stuff that went on here. I'm going to bring John on. Let's hey John, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
It's been so long since I've seen you, honestly, that just get it moving. And we had a little fun at the beginning here. And so, now, John, we haven't seen each other for a while.
Since last week.
Since last week. So we get on, I think it was 10 minutes before the show. Everything's set. I'm set. Everything feels good. Nothing can go wrong. And then John gets on. I'm like, John, I see him. And I'm like, John, you see me? You hear me? He's like, and then the next thing you know, we can't get his vocal. So I think
because the last time J.A. and I were on, we were testing audio buses, and I left my call on a different audio bus. And so, fortunately, that was the last thing I checked. But to be really honest with you, I was messing with stuff a little bit too late.
Oh, no.
And I was rushing to get down here because I was messing with, some NDI stuff, actually, too.
Oh, you and I both. So that's cool. That's going to be a little bit of good on you. Maybe you saw the little homework that I threw up on the thumbnail and you went, hey, or was that just by chance that you happened to mess around? No,
because, I was doing a little homework for the stream.
Of course you would, because that's what John does. John, he leaves nothing to chance. So I'll jump on the I've got some comments and some things going on here with my setup. So once in a while, I may accidentally flip through some things here, but I'll explain all that in a minute. We're going to have some fun with tech. We're going to have some fun with some tech myth busting. I love that. We had some fun last week. Let's catch up real quick. I wanted to say the only thing I saw, John, before we came on, there was a huge discussion about whether or not we're supposed to wear pants, either in the chat, I'm guessing.
I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you don't want to wear pants to chat, there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do about that? If you don't want to do it, I'm not going to make you wear pants. You barely wear pants.
We've all had those, problems at times.
It's barely PG. Although some of you do need a chaperone because some of you are just a nightmare. Let's see if we can get through some of these real quick and say hi. I want to get caught up. You guys are all fired up before I came in here. Look at Christopher's here. It's a friend of yours and ours over here at J&J's Tech and what are we calling it these days? We're calling all sorts of things. Throw some tunes on over here. See how it's going. Tina, how you doing? I've got a new thing going on with my mouse here, so I'm testing out Social Mix with this. So everybody be patient. MD Picker.
Hi, Tina.
I wish I could do just a next in the vMix Social.
Exactly.
It's the only thing I'm just some things I wish they could do. I mean, they don't really do that in the YouTube one either, but it would be nice if you could just use your. I'm going to work on some things. I'm going to have somebody write some code from Fiverr.
Right.
We're shots fired over at Vinny. Look, I think Vinny barely wears pants when he goes outside, so I think it's a little much to ask of him to throw on some corduroys to sit down and get on chat and say hi to his good friends. How you doing, Roxanne?
I haven't worn that onesie again since that stream because honestly,
you'd have to leave the doors open.
Well, it's it's been a little bit chilly, but now it's like it really heated up. It's going to be actually 52 degrees here on Saturday.
Good Lord.
In the middle of February. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. We got to 32 today, and I just went
Hi,
outside.
Annie.
Annie, how you doing? Speaking of somebody who's probably in a warmer client, it's good to see you, Annie. We had Shay, MD Pickers, hanging around. Vinny. John is he's more of a myth than a legend. I think the legend's the part of the myth. Is that?
It used to be a legend.
Yeah, and then something happened, and then that went away.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with this?
20 years ago.
Why am I seeing not buffering here? Okay. Hopefully there's no buffering.
He's not buffering.
Okay, he's not buffering it. He's not in the buff. Get it? I think that's the
What's
joke.
Up, Comp?
That's the joke.
You have to ask. All you have to do is ask Keith. Keith, do we look good on the big screen TV? And then if we don't, we have to adjust something properly.
Yeah, or you need to buy a new big TV.
So.
He's driving, so I can't see how handsome you guys look. Well, that's not going to work then. But I'm here. It's good to see you, man. Appreciate it so much for jumping in. And Combos knows a good screenshot though when he sees it because his cameras and stuff are beautiful. I mean, come on.
He's awesome, right? He's awesome with tech, and he's got like all the cutting
amazing.
edge. He's got He's one of us. He's one of us. We're one of him.
Totally, but I'm never getting on screen with that man. He's too good looking. Like, I just feel so out of place. I mean, it's hard enough sitting next to you.
He's too cool looking.
He's too cool looking. I just can't do it.
He's too cool, right?
He's too, right? I can't do it. I see Marlene is here. How you doing, Marlene? Tuesday? How you doing here in February? It is warmer here today. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm happy for it. Well, Roxanne does want to know, are you going to wear the llama onesies again, John? Yes.
Well, that's why I answered it. I answered that, yeah.
What if you put an air conditioning... What if you put an air conditioning in your room?
No,
kind of
that
take it down
thing
to
is way
meat.
too hot.
Okay. Even with an air conditioner? Come on. Whatever.
That thing is hot.
It's like sus. Wait, mouse and no pants? That's sus. It's not sus. That's
There's
the way
a
we
mouse
roll
in your
around
pants?
Here. Yes. Oh, Tommy. The homies with the big balonies. How does he know this? How does he know this about balonies? It's a little concerning.
He's East Coast.
Oh, he knows. He does know. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't fake the funk on a nasty dunk.
It's just...
It's
right in the 80s.
Frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt. So he is warmer by you. How you been doing? You said you were up late, working on some tech. You working on some things? You got a video?
I was hanging way too late. That's the problem. right before the stream because I was testing like bringing Zoom in from NDI on a screen share, and I don't think I had the video correctly set up. Of course, the audio came through on the wave, no problem. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Look at Chip. Look at this guy. Chip Griffin's here. Chip. Hey guys, glad I have a chance to stop by. Stream tonight, always entertaining and informative. This may be a letdown for you. Just kidding.
I saw Chip earlier today at in Doc Rock's stream,
fantastic.
which was a good stream today.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really
How was Doc?
a positive, good info stream.
Cool. Yeah, I like Doc Rock. Good deal.
Yeah, me too.
The NDI thing is interesting, and look, we're not going to go nerd on everybody. Nobody worry about. We're not going to do that. But and the NDI thing came up out of last week's stream when I was trying to do the Mindmap for the first time. Remember, I was trying to do my little presentation and the tech, and it worked. And I wanted to do what's called pitch mode, but when I went to go use pitch mode, like presenter mode, it took over all my monitors, and so I couldn't see anything, just the pitch. I couldn't,
Right.
And that's a problem. And I'm like, damn it, I want to use the pitch mode. So I contacted ZenMind, who runs the app, and they were kind enough to write me back. And they're like, we never thought of that. People using it this way for streaming, and we understand. So they're actually going to push it up into dev, and they're going to get in touch with me and ask me how I'm using it. And I think that's kind of cool. In the meantime, I had to come up with a different process. And a year ago, I started screwing around with NDI for fun with OBS. It wasn't great. And I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
I got an idea. And so there we go.
What were you trying to mess with it? Were you messing with it with the guy you were doing the streaming with, or for you just messing with yourself? Very
timely, because you got into the Zoom idea, which a year ago I was doing. I was moderating Q&As for a drummer who's a very well-known drum instructor out of LA, Bruce Becker, and we were doing master classes for Zoom. And so where I'm going with this, and I need to talk to you about this because this is something that I want to be able to do some remote production with vMix and Zoom. Because we pay through that and everything. But Zoom, if you've used Zoom, it's wonderful, but it's also handcuffs you and the presenter a little bit when it comes to production, especially in a live setting. So we're going to work on that. And I'm really, we're not going to go nerdy tonight, but I'm just going to walk you through what I did just because I did. But it brought up some other things, and it's always fun. Obstacles create opportunities, and my life is full of opportunities, apparently. Oh, here's a friend of ours that we get to see Saturday.
Always is.
Ken. How you doing, Ken?
Hi, Ken.
We get to see Ken.
What's going on,
content creator on Saturday, right? At, is that 11 a.m. Eastern?
11 Eastern, yes.
On his channel. I was going to bring the thumbnail in because he did a beautiful job on the thumbnail of you and I, Jay Cruz, and himself.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a really cool thumbnail. Really cool. And I got to post that out there. But great job on that, Ken. I'm really excited to get in and talk to everybody and do the hang, and we'll get moving on that. Chip. NDI is really powerful, but I always need to resist the urge to overcomplicate things just because, and I love tech. And, I really, as someone who loves productivity and likes to tinker, you're 1,000% correct. I've gotten to the point, if a productivity app or a process isn't really making my life better, I'm going to put it out to pasture. I don't have time for it anymore. However, it did work. It did solve this problem. Simple. Too, by the way, it took no time to set this up and run it through. I was like, whoa. And so I'm anxious to see about setting up a little more complicated Zoom typey thing. John, and you and I should work on that. That'd be a lot of fun. Might have to have you come in and do it with me, with my friends.
Actually, it doesn't look too complicated, really, to be honest with you.
No, man, it's gonna be good. So why don't I show quickly, it'll take us 5 minutes to do a little thing here, and then we're gonna move on. We're not gonna linger. But I'll show you what I did to set up. If you have different thoughts or you have different cautionary tales around it, let me know. So here's the deal though, guys. I'm probably gonna be clicking some weird things, and I'll explain why. In fact, let me do this so I can explain why. I'm gonna pull up my B cam.
You wanna tell them what MDI is first?
I'm going to do that, but let me show exactly my setup for quick, and I will do that. That'll be part of the presentation too.
Because it's like when people used to talk about it all the time, NDI, you could bring it in NDI, bring it in NDI.
Yeah.
And then
you betcha.
Like what in the beginning? What the hell does that mean?
Well, just so you, explain it. Well, the layout's important here. So this is my streaming PC, primary PC. These are the extended monitors. And this is where I keep vMix and all the other assets like chat and things I need to pop up. So that's like a control panel for that. So this is normally where I would do my desktop pull into showing you guys. But the problem with that is I like to use it for a monitor, but that wasn't the problem. I tried to do that. And then when I ran pitch mode, everything went black because it took all my monitors over. We got the problem. Enter laptop B. Okay, this is my Toshiba. Not a big deal, Toshiba. Let me see if I'm on the right thing here. So you can see I've got a thing going on here. So this is NDI'd client, and it's going into vMix. I'll show this. But I wanted you to get a lay of the land first before we did it. So let's get into the presentation. That'll help you out. And let's see here. I'm going to use this guy right here and send it out to you guys. Hang on 1 second. You know what? we'll use this. This is fine. You can see this, right, John? So this is my mind map. Now this mind map is coming in from, John and I are coming in from the normal inputs through vMix, camera, whatever. This input, NDI, is coming in through the laptop I showed you. So we are combining them now and throwing out a production. That's kind of fun. And it's just an input. And to give you one more little insight before we get into that, I did do, this is my inputs for vMix, and I chopped it so we didn't get the infinity thing. Just so you can see, and the reason this camera's upside down is because my camera's actually upside down. I have to invert it. But this is the NDI. If you can see it, this is the NDI input right here. Input. Yep, it's an actual input. You enter it just like a camera, so that's why they're with my cameras and my sound.
What's NDI?
Network device interface. I'm getting to it, you goober.
Yeah, well, tell them so they know, because they're like, what does this mean? Well,
you got to see the setup before it really matters what you did to solve the problem. The problem is I had the problem. I'm telling you right now, NDI, I'm bringing in as input, and then we'll discuss it through the deal here. But it's fine. You guys can get ahead of me. That's cool. So it's not that complicated, but let's just, you know what? Here's the pitch mode where I ran into problems. That would take over my whole screen. Now I can show it to you here. So NDI. Let's get into it. So this computer is the NDI server or client computer. Get a little background as John wants to talk about. New Tech came out with NDI in 2015. Right now, I think they're on version 5.0. They've had a lot of upgrades since then. It is free, and vMix was an early adopter, which is, I think, one of the reasons why it works so well with it as a native thing. It works great, I have to say.
And now I believe NDI is its own company.
Right.
So I don't think New Tech owns them anymore.
No, they don't. And so it's been when you think about it, it's been a very quick evolution for this technology. And they've really done a great job of continuing to add different encoders and ways to do some phenomenal things. So all you have to do to set up a client, though the secondary computer, is you need to download, here we go, the client computer. You got to make sure you're on the same LAN in my case. Okay, so I'm on the same LAN or Wi-Fi. In fact, you're better off hardwiring this. I'm on a Wi-Fi, so the lag is like almost nil. But I will wire it up at some point and see if I can get that lag even less. But I wanted to push the limits of it a little bit. And all I did was load up the NDI desktop. I downloaded it, loaded it up. It took no time. It was very simple. I don't know if it's running down here, if I can show it to you, but it's okay. So the next thing up, you have to set up my primary streaming computer runs vMix, and that's what I've got here, my computer B. And all you have to do is create an NDI input. So it's the same if you set up like a camera, but really a display. That's a choice we get, right? So you add a display input, and you choose NDI or a monitor, essentially, or an app. And I just chose the NDI, popped right in, chose it, fired right up, and it's been working beautifully since. There really isn't, I'd like to say that there's a and then we have happy chat because it worked. You guys rock.
Right. And this is just one way to use NDI, though. There's many more.
This is a very simple way of doing it.
Right.
But it ended up circumventing the problem that I had, which I had the problem. How do I get around it? I mean, do I need to do it that way? I really don't, but it's fun to play. And what it does is when you do something simple like this, it sets a foundation. If you do want to do something more complicated, like we were talking about, because I would like to do the Zoom stuff down the road. So let me check chat. I'm sure that everybody's kind of like, I don't understand any of this
stuff. Here's the thing, right? So an easy fix for that would be for just Jeff to get another monitor, right? And that would be like $100 and something.
No,
but here's another thing.
No,
why?
I have 3 because the pitch mode takes over all the monitors on my extended monitor landscape. That's the problem. It won't let me choose one monitor. So that
but I mean, in a lot of other scenarios,
yes.
you can get an extra monitor and extend it for just taking. You could, like right now, I could just pick my monitor 3, use it as an NDI source. But say like if you didn't have an extra monitor right then and there, and you had the laptop, then you can just bring that as an NDI source.
I got you.
But an easy fix would be just to get another monitor. That's just one case scenario, because here's the big deal, right? It takes all the assets off of your main PC, running it on your main PC. So if, say, Jeff now brings it in NDI, which is anything on that network he can bring in from those sources, and then the CPU and the GPU don't get overworked in vMix, and it takes less power to run everything, because like if you had another PC, you can run all those assets off of that PC and pull it into vMix in the separate PC. So exactly. And then that becomes, it's more expensive, but if you're running a big production and you don't want to put all that stress on your main streaming PC, that's when NDI becomes like super powerful.
Yeah, and it just gives you options to granularly control a production. This is where Zoom really was messing people over with, and like Skype was the first ones to get out there on the NDI train and give people NDI options. I think it might have been originally for Skype Business, but I think now maybe everybody has it. But that was awesome. But Zoom, it's just been kind of a nightmare because of the way they, I don't like their system, the way they integrate the presenter and the host, and it's just really hard to produce that. And then lag issues between everything and the monitoring. So I'm anxious to try that out down the road. And
that's the great thing with NDI is it's really low latency.
It is.
And so even if you're running wireless, you can get like this company called Bird Dog makes all the encoders for using, like, instead of using SDI inputs or HDMI inputs, you can run low latency NDI encoders, and you can just basically pull anything around as long as your network is available and you have the bandwidth. It is literally 100 milliseconds of latency.
It's really
anywhere
amazing.
In your network. It's crazy.
The Wi-Fi, shocking me how little latency is so interesting to watch, because it's almost not there. So I will run now. I start throwing video and audio and pounding a little bit more bandwidth through that NDI source. I might obviously have more lag, so I'm only sending a screenshot at the moment. I had audio, but I turned it off.
Right.
Brian
You're
says,
limited to your particular bandwidth is what the most thing that would hold you back.
Of course, right. Exactly. Brian says, I do the Zoom live streams all the time. If you guys find a cool way, let me know. I'm going to be working on it, because I do have somebody wants to do a virtual drum camp, and kind of through Zoom, and I'm trying to figure out the best way. Maybe Zoom isn't the best platform for it, but I think this might create some possibilities. But I got to work on that. Maybe I might bring John in for a little brain session on that.
Because then we could bring in like 25 people.
Yes.
Have them sit in the seats.
Mm-hmm. That's about it. It was 20, 25. Like that. I love that no one wants to sit by you, man. No one wants to sit by John. Look at your friends.
No, they moved everybody because I was talking. They gave me the attention at the end, and everybody was talking. They moved them and let me sit by myself.
No, that's not what happened. No, what happened was they just got up and left. And that's awesome, man. I love that. Chip
so
says,
this is actually Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, and NDI pulled in to vMix.
So you're okay. I was going to say that's because that is a Zoom. So you are actually running Zoom right now through there.
Yes.
To set that up. So you're running. You're blowing my mind. I love this. So you didn't see. This is what I love about John. He didn't tell me. So we've got a lot of NDI stuff. Oh no, you crash and burn.
The update came in later, please.
So, this is fun. So you went in, did a Zoom session, you pulled that into your NDI, and then you're sending that out to me through that feed.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
So my wife was on. I tested it with her, and the feed would have went out with you. So now we could have literally 25 people sitting there, and we could be running a live stream with a webinar or something, and have our production in vMix. And that's what's essential here, right? Is because if you're doing like a webinar, then you have your production ready here to look really ultra professional and much cleaner and a higher level than Zoom could ever give you, right?
And the controls.
But you'll be able to touch 25 people though. So that's really big.
It's great. I'm so glad you did that. So impressed. And Chip, I get you, Chip. Yeah, it does chew up local network. You got to have the space. You got to do the calculations and make sure you're doing good. But I hear you. It's true. What do you got going on there? You got that running NDI.
And then I also have, and you guys see me use my webcam before here, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually, instead of me pulling this in and through vMix, I'm pulling this in through NDI.
That's killer. There's a lot of NDI going on tonight. Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, and this is just scratching the surface of what you can do with this. But the idea is to take the load off of the PC that you have and utilize things on the flip side. And really, to set that up is just as little as going down, downloading the NDI tools, and then you can go into OBS, you can go into Ecamm, you can go into vMix, and then you can pull it. You can pull that capture in, and it gives you all the choices of all your camera inputs to pull in. Or if I wanted to pull in, like say Jeff, another capture from your PC wirelessly, it could have done that too, right?
Yes.
And that would be another capture.
It really just opens up so much options, and the whole idea is to get as many of the feeds as separate as possible, so that you have more granular control over the production. It's a lot of fun.
Exactly.
When you can do that. Chat is thrilled and partying. I want to just give a shout out to Cashew, our our wizard of the wrenches.
Hi,
I almost
Cashew.
said wenches. Our wizard of the wrenches. Wizards.
But when people start talking about it, then they're like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that." And the first thing I always hear though is like, "Well, it's really easy," and it definitely was super easy, more easy. And plus, I know that the NDI 5 is much more intuitive now.
It is.
And then they added things like Adobe products that you can just pull in as an app, as an NDI source, which wasn't there last NDI. So
no, it's just becoming so much more usable and friendly. Brian, second laptop, HDMI, I think you mentioned AI, and a capture card.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
You nailed it, bro. Chip, vMix will also output NDI feeds. That might be the pro version that you have, but because I don't know that I have that at my level. But yeah, it has a bunch of utilities, no doubt. I've seen that. I've been going through like a nerd on YouTube, and I'm like, hey, Boston Don, how you doing? You must not have a hockey game on or something. Let's see how you're doing. If you do, that's cool.
Hi, Don.
Put us on in the background, and good luck. Good luck, Bruins. Oh, look at here. Here we go. I have a Facebook Live Zoom on Thursday if you want to collab. I think we're busy. Just kidding, man. We'll figure something out, man. I'll talk to you afterwards. Aaron, how you doing, Aaron? He said hello to the ladies, and then he said,
hi, Aaron.
Jeff and John. Yeah, I'm a lady. I don't know. I'm a lady. I can be a lady.
Hey, ladies.
Do you think they would push Vin to the front? I have a feeling Vin was always in the back of the room. Back of the bus, too, probably, right?
No, he was in the front. He never got in trouble. You know, he was like one of the the really like talkative and funny, but didn't get in trouble kids. Okay. I was like one of the funny and got in trouble all the time.
I have no doubt. That's why you were sitting by yourself in the Zoom room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, our friend here is here. Todd, how you doing? What's going on?
Hey, Todd.
Are you? What happens now on Valentine's Day? Do you just go, I can't even deal with that holiday? I mean, you just had a big, huge holiday. And how does that work for you after that? Do you celebrate any other holidays? I don't know. I'd be burnt out almost. Are you already? Hey, already,
Tracy.
Todd, are you already into next Christmas already? Are you doing that already? Come on, man. Darren Dimebags is here.
You never know.
I want to be blue. I want to be blue someday. You want to be blue? Okay. Well, we can make you sad. That kind of blue. You can.
See Patrick. Patrick's here. Hey, Patrick. How you doing?
I'm catching up. I know. I'm catching up.
Patrick Tracy's did a cool. He did a live stream on a retro Pi. You know what a retro Pi is?
Is that a very old 3.14?
It's put all your games on a Raspberry Pi.
Oh, the Raspberry Pi. Yeah. Gotcha.
So it's called a retro Pi, and it's got all the Atari games and everything. I got like 4,000 games on it.
Yeah, I never really went down that road. I had some friends who really got into the Raspberry Pi stuff, and they just thought that was the best cool thing ever. And so the Bruins what are they doing? Oh, they're losing. They'll catch up. Last second goal. Pull the goalie. Send him on his way. Dr. Elo, how you doing? We're hanging out here with we're just some little nerdy stuff with NDI. Although it turns out it wasn't that hard, so I don't know how nerdy it is. Turns out all of us can do it. So I think let's just all get our NDI out and do a crafty NDI like Mommy Lala would do. You know, should we do that someday?
I'm gonna be actually
getting crafty with NDI.
I'm gonna be actually on Dr. Elo's stream on Tuesday, the next 15th. Yeah,
that is next week. All right. Look
Tuesday.
Forward to that. Is there a topic, or are you guys just getting together to chat, or is there
It's going to be tech driven, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to talk about tech.
Well, I didn't think you were going to be talking about how to make cakes. I'm not really sure.
No.
Okay.
Technically, we could be talking about cakes. We just talked about pies.
I guess true, we did. Don says, I got some new toys this week, upping the game because I buy things before I even stream, LOL. Well, you're not alone. I think a lot of people hoarded before they streamed, unfortunately. I know I'm one of them. Patrick, how you doing? I missed the intro to that, but I'm glad John caught up to me. I'm just going to drop this anyway. So you're going to start focusing on Christmas 2022 starting next week. My goodness. You and Macy's.
That sounds about right.
You and Macy's. Brian, I've had my NDI out since 2015. Okay.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because it's just a way production people definitely can utilize their assets in a more efficient way. I mean, for me, really, I'm not even at that point where I would even have to use it technically.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, it's different for everybody. If I had a lesser computer, then I may be bringing assets in to utilize it, right? Yeah. But at this point, I wouldn't have to. But to know it's there and have it be free, Jeff,
it's amazing. And it works.
Thing,
it's not like even a year ago when I started looking at the NDI for OBS, and then you had to download the extra thing, and it wasn't horribly complex, but I remember thinking, this is not worth it, man. I'm wasting time screwing around with this. It was clunky. It didn't really work well. Maybe it was part my fault. Maybe it was OBS yet. I don't really know. And maybe now it's beautiful. But all I know is vMix has been around this for a long time. It was just like downloading an image and opening it up and you were ready to go. I mean, it was that simple to get this to work. And to see the lag or very little lag has been just impressive on the Wi-Fi. I will start pushing the limits of it. I'll start bringing in feeds, playing audio and checking that out. And I'll have to put it on the actual wired into the LAN too and see what's going on. But I'm excited as a starting point maybe to look at some of the stuff that I need to do because I've been being asked to do these master classes and these drum camps, and it's too wonky through these other means. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
So Jeff,
the goalie.
So Jeff is saying he could put like, for instance, like if you want to run assets off of another laptop or something, he's saying you could literally put that laptop upstairs and connect it through a wire upstairs, and then you could pull the assets through the network off of that laptop. I mean, I don't think we all know how powerful that is, but we're new at streaming. I mean, we're 8 months into streaming.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, and I was going to cover.
We haven't utilized this.
No, and to really make hay of this, so the issue is I have this laptop, and then it's like, oh God, mouse and mouse keyboard. So I had purchased a year ago a Logi combo Bluetooth connections, and it does multiple PCs with the keyboard and the mouse. So I set it up, and so you get the button you push and you can change computers and then it goes a mouse, or the same thing here. The nice thing about the Logi software is called Flow. And so you can set it up to where when you go to the edge of the screen, it just pops over into the other computer. So you don't have to sit and click anything. It's like you're going back from one computer to the next, like it's monitors just extended. It's called Flow. Yeah. Same thing with the laptop.
That was Vinny's nickname in high school.
Well, it's
especially when he got really moody.
It's not going to be our nickname when we get older. If you've been up behind those guys when they're older and at the stadiums, come on, dude. Let's go.
Yeah.
No Flow.
I have to get, my doctor's going to be asking me about my Flow soon.
Yeah, they do that. There's some fun tests for that. Anyway, so to deal with that, I ended up using this so I could use one keyboard, one mouse, and just swing it. So once in a while it gets a little goofy. But it's been fun to do. But
one keyboard.
To John's point, what I want to do next, there's no reason for this computer to be here. I can leave this. I have a satellite desk upstairs, leave it up there plugged into my LAN, and just pull my stuff off there. And that is the goal. That's what I'm going to do next week. I'm going to wire it up. We're going to do the mind map from the desk, little Mythbusters, and see how that works. And it might be just a complete mess. The only concern I have there is my Bluetooth is not going to probably go that far. So I'm probably going to chase down a Wi-Fi version of these setups with the multiples, so I don't have to worry about the Bluetooth. But one thing at a time.
I think we got a new song. One keyboard, one mouse. No?
One keyboard, one mouse. Putting your laptops around the house. Something like that.
Yeah, that was what's his name? George Thorogood.
God, that's been a while. George Thorogood. Oh my God. What's this? I'm just going to throw this up here. I didn't even read it. Took a chance. John, the USS New Jersey, called it wants its light back.
I don't know why you're making fun of my fantastic light. It's
a fantastic light, but it does look like it should be on a U-boat.
It's a beacon.
It's a beacon or a lighthouse. It's not Flomo.
Yeah.
You're such
FOMO.
a ass. Yes. So we've renamed this J&J's Tech and Flow Show.
Flow Show.
No, because we'll get sued by like Progressive or whoever the progressive woman who does the geriatric. Oh, Roxanne, you're killing us. It's getting geriatric over here. Well, you know. Wow. Yeah. Well, if you can't flow.
Wow.
Well, it could happen. She nailed us. Just don't stand behind. Oh, guess what light that is?
Oh, Jeff's got his beacon on.
Damn Dasney went off and got a mind of its own. That's never happened.
Yeah, I controlled that.
You did not control it. You controlled it through NDI.
I controlled that through NDI.
No, you didn't. You're such a liar. Don't listen to his lies, people. He's all about fake news or John's coffee talking crap. Huh? It's not.
Wow.
Well, there's all the people that weren't sitting by you in the stadium there at the Zoom stadium.
Oh, they're getting loud.
They're getting loud. They're angry. Those guys are angry. Those guys have picket signs.
They're very angry.
What the hell's going on, man?
Yeah.
It's all right, man. I know how to take care. I'm going to go outside with some pizza and beer, and they're going to be my friends, and then they'll be marching on your house, and we'll see how it goes.
Pizza and beer makes. Wow. You won them over already.
I won them. I gave them some llama shirts. They're ready to roam. Rodrigo, hi. Saying hi, and I got to be serious about getting to bed this time. That's fine. You can go to bed. You can go to bed, Rodrigo. I mean, we do.
We're not going to hold you back.
Somehow I feel like we really are keeping Rodrigo from sleep the last couple of weeks. But you know what? We always anytime anybody's here, I'm happy. I love all you, and I'm just having a good time. We're just making stuff up here tonight. Don't enable them. No, don't do it.
So I don't know if I told you this. Oh, I did. I texted you, but I didn't tell you. So we went to a museum close to my house on Saturday, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was Saturday. Because in Bergen County, New Jersey, they have like this law where no malls are open on Sunday. And so Saturday we went to the museum, and then I saw this guy selling a PS1 mic boom arm about half an hour away.
Good Lord, you got a nice price.
So you know they go for $100, right? Yeah. So that they're $100. This guy's selling it for $30. And I was like, I should just pick that up because it's worth every dollar. And I have an extra one because you know how it is. I do. You know, when you buy enough of those cheap $17 ones that break all the time, you're like, and you get a good one, you're like, oh my God, this thing is awesome. So I went and bought it, $30. And then we went to the mall. So then we're walking around the mall, and I find $20 on the ground. So in my eyes, I got that thing for $10. That's the way I look at it.
The good news is you did the math right. So I applaud you on that. But I'm so frustrated that you get all these deals, you find money.
Yeah. Don't worry. I went to Cheesecake Factory and spent $130. So.
Oh my God. I hear you on that. Oh my God. Jim, how you doing? I'm so glad you're here. And he said some of his best lives are in the middle of the night.
Hey, Jim.
They are some of the best lives. I wish I could stay up in the middle of the night, but I can. I know Jim's up quite a bit because I've seen him in a few of them. But yeah, so this is a good question. Before I go to bed, seriously, is it a bad taste to re-edit a video and re-upload it without removing the original? Bad taste? I don't know. I mean, it's close to I guess what did you redo that you couldn't take down the original? I mean, was there enough augmented material where it was just kind of like, hey, I'm just trying to layer some new stuff that I left off or I learned? I mean, I guess I don't really know what you did on the editing.
Right.
So I guess I've seen people do
I've thought of doing what he's doing, but I would take down the old video.
Yeah.
Like I thought of repackaging it in a different thumbnail and some things like that, improving the editing, and then just throwing it back up.
If you have hours or views on it, you don't want to lose maybe. But I mean, if you don't care about that, there's no real risk then, but, if you're past that, I think you'd be fine, 420's here. I want to say hi to 420 in the house. Hi, Peeps. Peeps, say hi back to 420. Very nice to see you again. Now that we know it's Manson and not, who'd you say it was?
I
Bruce
said
Lee's
it was
kid?
Bruce Lee's son. Yeah.
So
it looks like from The Crow. It does. It really does.
Well, it has that vibe. I'll give you that. But the more I looked at it, I'm like, we weren't even close. My goodness.
It doesn't look like Marilyn Manson. Because I remember Marilyn from like 20 years ago. Looked a little thinner back then. Well,
and I keep saying 420 because I don't drop your name if you want. But is that a recent image of Manson or something earlier in his career? I can't really tell looking at it. It looks like he's a little more mature looking at him there, but I could be wrong. Patrick, 30 plus 20. Wait, you're halfway to a Blue Yeti, you dope. Yeah, he's right. You could have pulled it all together and you've been waiting for a Blue Yeti. You've been waiting for a Blue Yeti since I met you. You won't.
The guy from vidIQ uses one.
Well, then you need it, sir. Maybe not. You'll never get up a Blue Yeti, so no, you're not going to.
No way.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, okay. So he basically says he's fixing audio levels and making some corrections. Problem is that most watch video. Yeah, of course it is. So yeah, it carries the channel weight right now. I mean, look, I don't think there's any law to it.
What do you got to lose? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, what's going to happen? No one's going to storm your castle and take you out, put you somewhere in a Where was I going with that?
I'm all for. I'm all for in the beginning not overthinking anything and just, if your instincts and listening to yourself about your own YouTube channel and Rodrigo, you're an intelligent guy, then I'd say you just go for it, make your improvements because it's probably irking you. You want to fix things. So fix them and then put it back out and see how it pans.
Where I was going with that is no one's going to storm your castle and make you eat cabbage and take your dog away. I'm sure that's a metaphor that people use all the time. And we are so far off base. This isn't even Manson. It's someone that was in this video. And I was wondering because I'm like, it doesn't look like Manson to me. It doesn't even look like Manson. I mean,
we'll get this straight by the 3rd week.
420, we could really use some help. Maybe you could do like an online course for us or something. We even pay you to straighten us out.
Maybe you can send us the picture through NDI.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, we dopes.
What I was working on, and I didn't show you also, is that I've been working on some new overlays a little bit, just, improving my skills on them actually.
Yeah, you've been looking good. You want to show some off real quick? You want to show some overlays?
So I worked on.
Let me put you up.
This is the one that I just did right here. So I think I'm lagging. It looks like I'm lagging.
Are you running through NDI still? What's going on here?
No. It's just
Did you eat something?
I just must be my internet might be running slow.
Did you have beans?
But this is how do you like this? Do you like this overlay?
I like it. I like what you did with here. You jacked it up a little bit. You got a little of that, if you show the expanse vibe to it. I like it. I like what you've done here. Absolutely.
It's not bad, right?
No, it's really good.
And then I got something like this going on too. Yeah.
I got to get the circle going. That's my next thing too. I've really been sitting on the template for a while. Thank you, Brian. Paul sent me one and I haven't used it. I think you did a great job here. Loving it. Loving the colors. It's really snappy.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically I've been doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Just try to get better and better at the things that I'm trying to improve on. That's all.
I think it looks great. Let's see what other. You're welcome, Rodrigo. Try that out. Let's see what's going on. No one's going to try to take your dog, Jim. I promise you. I got to change out here. Hang on a second. I got an overlay problem, chat problem there.
See you, Patrick.
Patrick, thanks you for stepping in. Love it. Buddy sitting. You got
thank you so much, man. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Someday I'm going to get mine working, and that's what John's supposed to help me with here soon because I'm having a little bit of issue with it. I
just changed it from the Christmas one.
Yeah, it's a buddy sitting on a couch in his video, Tainted Love. Well, we're getting some background. See, we're getting some background history. I love it. Boston Don says he could use some overlay help. John's getting really good at it. I really like working on these things.
Yeah. I'm actually going to do a video on it, and I'm actually going to do a little live stream with practicing and showing people how to do the overlays from scratch in Canva. And the thing is, you won't have to have Canva Pro to even do this. You could just have regular Canva. And then what I've been using is PicArt, I believe.
They're one of them.
You use PicArt, Jeff?
PicArt. I've used PicArt, Pixels.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Photopea. I've been using Photopea.
Photopea. Yep. There's
which is really powerful. So
yeah, maybe next week I'll go through there's like a top 10 of those that I really enjoy. There's a lot of really good stuff out there for art that I don't know that a lot of people know exist, and you don't have to pay for much. Sometimes it's worth paying. Like I see something, I go, I really want that, but I'm not going to sit here and spend $40 a month with Motion Array or something just for one 10-second video every 2 months. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Good night, Patrick. Thank you again for stopping in. Cashew does say,
Chip, take care.
Great point, Jim. Congratulations. I've been trying to get J.A. and John to name their show A Couple of Sweet Dogs. No takers yet. You know what? I didn't get that memo about the sweet dogs, but sure, why not?
A couple of
I'm open to
dogs.
anything. I already know the answer to this. He's not using Illustrator.
No.
I love Illustrator and I love Photoshop, but he's not using that.
Yeah. It's just Canva and Photopea, man. That's it.
Here's the truth. I love Photoshop. and I hold on dear to it because there are some things in there I still like to do. And as with Illustrator, but the truth of it is, for what we do, Canva Pro, go for that. I would even drop my Adobe payment to just go for Canva Pro, and for the most part, go in there. And now there are some things I still feel hamstrung in Canva, but it's so rare that I would say I'm at least 90% now into Canva, and it took me a while to really commit to that eco. But I'm enjoying it in there, and I think it's fine, especially with the Pro version. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
I think it's really
You've
good.
done some really good overlays, and I'm screwing around with that a little bit right now, playing around, just getting my branding out there. I've got my logo, my little initials I'm playing with. You see that out here a little bit more. So I'm slowly getting into it. It's not something I'm going to spend like a ton of time a week on, but I'll nibble at it. And it's always fun to see people do that and play and get ideas. And so I'm excited to do that at some point. Live chat, I'm in live chat. I'm using vMix Social, and I'm like 40 seconds behind. What are you jumping on me for, Aaron? I'm in live chat. John's not, though. John's probably somewhere on top chat somewhere. Although you used vMix Social, I thought, last time, didn't you? So I can't even mess with you there.
I was messing with it. Yeah.
Here's the thing about that. Do you use Adobe Suite, Jeff? I do. However, I will admit, I stopped upgrading at CSS 6, so I still can, I don't have to pay the monthly. And the question's going to be, now CS3, by the way, good luck. They're getting rid of support. In fact, it's irritating what they did with CS3, and that if you bought an actual license, an activation license, you won't be able to find it anymore. They're shutting those servers down. So good luck. And I find that a little bit infuriating, because you bought that product in good faith, and I know it's an old product, but it kind of annoys me a little bit. But they'll do the same thing with CS6, and then I'll have to make a decision. The truth of it is, I love Photoshop and Illustrator, and that's going to be a real tough one for me.
Yeah, decision.
Yeah, that money's tough, man, because we're spending all sorts of money on things. I just spent some more money on some monthlies, including Canva Pro. And so how deep do I can tell you this, though, I'm canceling Sonata.media. I got hit with another copy strike with those idiots. I love their music and their catalog, but I'm done with that nonsense. So that $10 a month can be saved. Get rid of it. Yeah, so it's funny. 420 brings up XSplit, which is actually part of the whole, I think it's part of some of the evolution of NDI, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look. But XSplit actually, shoot, I don't know if they merge, but there is XSplit as part of NDI, or there's some entanglement there, and I don't know enough about it. So that's interesting that you bring that. I've not done it, but it's been brought up to me before. Have you done it 420, and have you had any luck with it, or how do you feel about it? It crossed my view going back into some background again with NDI, and so it's interesting that you brought that up. Oh, you did. Aaron, you're right. I saw it. So Aaron wanted to know a little bit more about your slider, and he asked if he had the wrong brand. So you might as well just go ahead and give him the right info on your slider. So he has it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Aaron,
it's the latest one by Newer. But I'm like glitching, and I don't know what it is, because I'm looking and trying to figure out what's glitching me up here, because I just got rid of, I closed NDI, and I closed a couple other things, but the only thing I could think of is I didn't restart after I downloaded and installed it. So
yeah, that could be it. I bet if we did it after the show here, you'd be fine.
Yeah, because right now I'm jumping back and forth from like 29. My CPU jumps up to 69. It's going 29, 69, 29.
Oh yeah,
55.
you've got somebody's trying to grab some stuff.
Yep.
And just to Aaron, last week we really did touch on it on that stream. If you want to go back and look at more of the demo and insight to that, but it's the latest newer version of it, and it's one I'm going to buy. I believe it's 31 inches. By the way, I had looked at the Rhino Arctic 2, which is like at least twice as much, and it's only 18 inches slider. And I think for what the money and the quality, I will go with this 31 inch for. Can you give me the price again? Was it at the end of the day? Was it
Yeah, well, it's right now it's $75 off, so it's going to be gone.
Everything's $75 off, John. I can't buy everything at $75 off just because it's $75.
It's like $320 or so, and I got it for $240. So it's a steal. It's actually a link in my last videos. So if you go looking for it, it's in there. And so you don't get the wrong one. This is the latest version. I chose to have it wired with a Cat5 wire, hardwired. And this particular one takes the battery off the unit itself, which is less weight on the actual sliding unit, which is a plus. Yeah. And so believe me when I say I picked the best one for the best price, and that's the way it usually rolls. So I do it for particular reasons that are beneficial.
Yeah, that slider and that light, the Amaran is my next one out of the box. I'm just putting the money. I want to say hi to Common Tags. First time I've seen you jump in here and slide into the drops. Thank you so much for giving us a wave, Common. And
yeah, that's awesome to see her. She's got a great YouTube channel. YouTube channel.
So I appreciate that. And thanks for saying hi to us. And I'm looking forward to learning more about Common Tags. And what do you know? Is Common Tags eBay based? Is that the tag?
Yeah, she's an eBay reseller.
Of course.
I believe in California. And she does mainly clothes is what her whole deal is. And she uses just her phone for all her camera work. And she does an outstanding job with it. She really looks good.
I want to jump and that's great. I want to check out her channel because people that are using just their phones intrigues me. And something I want to start using more of in my world is my phone. 420 wanted the exploit has been used for 5 years, but it's interesting because Brian mentions that it's more for gamers. But then there is a comment in here. He's put StreamYard into exploit and do free lives. Interesting. Okay, so you're actually leveraging that pretty good. That's interesting. Have you seen that, John? I have not really gotten it. I've never really been the urge to mess with it. I think NDI just popped up and I felt for what I was doing, it was more inherent, but
yeah,
that's awesome to hear.
I mean, it makes sense for guys. I'm not a gamer, but that's a cool, nifty way, I guess, to play some average games because I mean, StreamYard, the only thing is if you're not paying for it, you're at 720p and your frame rate is going to be, hindered also. So, I mean, I don't think you could do some serious gaming, but you might be able to have some, fun, and that's what matters.
I don't know, but I'd like to see it.
Jeff, put you on big screen and I'm going to come back in on call. I'm going to restart vMix.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you on the other side.
I'll be back.
Okay, all right. Well, don't rush. That was really mean.
Jerk.
Okay, everybody. Now's our time.
Thanks, jerk.
He's talking to Tommy? No, Tommy's a friend of ours. John is in slow motion. Yeah, he's got some slow motion. I know he's blaming it on his lag, but sometimes I feel like he blames too much of the tech and not enough of the user end of this. We'll see when he comes back if it's look, man, between you guys and I, he's got $8.2 million in equipment now in the studio. He shouldn't be having lag. What the hell? I only have like $50 worth of equipment here and I'm fine. So if we got a better deal on this, let's talk to our friends while John's out doing what John does. I think he's just putting his other pants on. So is Common Tags, is your name Courtney? Just so I can get that straight, because I feel like you're Courtney based on the timing of this, and I figure I might as well go right for the name. And if it is Courtney, very nice to see you, and I look forward to seeing you. For some reason, I feel like I actually have seen your channel through Tommy's stuff, so I feel like it's kind of there, but maybe that's where you found us. I'm not exactly sure, but you're saying here, I just got a mic, partly because of you both. Well, are you here to yell at us? Are you here to what mic? What mic did you get? I sometimes lurk on your lives. Oh, okay. It's okay to lurk. You're probably busy. What mic did you get? And what are you using as your interface, if I can ask? Might as well ask that. That way when John comes back, I can feel like I'm all smart and I have new friends. And yeah, if your name is Courtney, I want to know that, because then I'm going to pretend like Courtney and I have known each other for about 10 years. Blah, blah, blah. Brian, XSplit can replace OBS. Is that right? I just don't know enough about it. I'm be honest with you. I'm a little bit. So you're telling me you would use it as a streaming platform per se, like OBS, and use scenes? I wasn't aware that that's how it went down. Okay. I think the answer is yes here. I like XSplit better than OBS. So, okay. So as I see what you're doing, 420 is XSplit local. You set up your stuff. I'm guessing you're stream balling out to StreamYard, and then you're putting out through there.
He puts out? Yeah.
OBS is putting out. 420 is putting out OBS. Yeah, OBS is hard for me. I hear that. I thought OBS was actually pretty easy, but then I have to be careful there because sometimes a lot of the software you use dictates what is easy for you. So I went from a lot of web design software or other softwares or editing, and I didn't find OBS or even stuff like Sonar or things like that. I didn't find OBS to be overly difficult. But again, when you're used to certain softwares or you get used to certain things, we tend to think, oh, that was easy. So it just depends on what you're used to. So I don't like saying that because not everybody has experience with it. You're back.
That's actually, yeah, a lot better. Something was glitching. I got an error when I went to go restart.
You missed some things.
So here's the thing. I always feel like when people start the hard thing, like people always say, oh, I don't want to try OBS or I don't want to try DaVinci because everyone says how hard it is. No. Then they go and try something else that's half the product. And then they stay in there. And then a year later, then they're like, I want to up this. And I wish I never started this. And I should have started learning DaVinci a year ago or learning something else. That's the only tricky thing I have about putting off something if you're truly sincere about trying to get an up your level, so that's why I always try to be careful, because
I have a couple schools of thought. I think you're right, generally speaking, but I also think that, say you go into something like Filmora, which I use and love, but I think the issue there is if there's such an oppressive entry obstacle for software, then you're better off taking something that feels a little bit more like, the whole point is to do something. And I think if you end up going into software and you learn enough and feel comfortable enough to learn enough of that to go, I want to try DaVinci, then I think you took the absolute correct path. Would you maybe have been better off? I don't know. Maybe DaVinci would have been so overwhelming that you would have stopped. I've actually gone into certain softwares where I'm like, oh my God, this is just, I don't want to, so I stick it out and then it's fine. But I have a lot of benefit of every app. I've tried about every app there is. So, I have a little bit of a different curve, but I don't know. I mean,
it's not for everybody. I'm not saying
you're not wrong
because, because like everybody has a different learning curve, and say like, you just try to listen to yourself. Like if tech is really hard for you, I get it then, but if you're an average person, sometimes it's just better to stick with the little harder thing. But I get it. We always talk about, and Jeff and me always say, like, if something's, allowing you to make content and create, right? Because now it's not holding you back. Like you make a better choice on a camera because it's a little bit easier to use. Or even if you just used a GoPro off instead of using a mirrorless, whatever the case, I mean, you do got to make choices. And if you got better choices to make that are going to help you create, then I get it. It makes sense.
Well, I'll give you a step back on that. A year ago, I was using 2 webcams. I didn't even have my 5100, which I would never used. And using those webcams helped me figure out lighting and how that affects webcams. And using those webcams made me understand the role that ISO and white balance plays. And then I took that basic knowledge when I got the 51. I didn't feel as overwhelmed when I went into that crazy ecosystem and menu system of the Sony 5100. So for me, I felt like that was okay. Like I took my baby steps. Maybe I would have been better going right into the 5100. I don't know. But I think there is a point where if you are committed to something, if you're committed to going down some value, that you definitely want to look. Just give it time. If you get into DaVinci or some of these softwares and you really want to editing and you really want to do something well, just make sure to know that you're probably going to cry a couple times and be mad, throw the computer, yell at the dog, but you'll get past it right after that. You'll be fine.
Right. It's my fault. Sorry.
Everybody does it. So 420 was just saying, yes, that's exactly using XSplit as an OBS, packaging it up, sending it out to StreamYard. I see what you're doing. But, and this is the point, I can do lives on my Facebook and YouTube or Twitch. I'm with you. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you for that. A couple things I want to just bring up here. Boston Don, I got a new mic and the associated necessities. Do we know what mic he got? Did he mention this last week?
Oh no, I'd like to know though. That'd be.
Don't do that.
Mics,
don't drop. I got a new toy, new mic, and not tell us what it is. You know we got to know. You know. Don't.
I know. You know. You want to know.
You know what they do? They do this. They're like, I'm gonna tell them I got a mic, but they don't really want. We want to know, man. That like juices us. Let us know what you got, what you're doing. I love that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. OBS. To Aaron says OBS is a 90% 90-degree learning curve. Pain. I guess. I don't know. I didn't find OBS to be
that difficult at all.
Again, it just depends on your background, you know. I get it.
I think if you look at it and you never looked at it before, it could be totally overwhelming. But there's so many good people on YouTube who will just basically go over a lot of things and show you. And it's just like, wow, then you get the gist of it. It really changes your whole mindset.
Yeah. So here we go. Rodrigo, I think I mentioned once spending over 27 hours on a video. Yeah, that was because I had to use Vegas Pro for the first time after my PC crashed. Yeah, so a lot of that was just you learning. Oh man, that's really rough. Been there, my friend. Yes, absolutely. I wanted to send this out because I think it's important. I learn every day. Never EBD learning. Never EBD? What does that say? What's EBD mean? It's going to make sense. What does that EBD mean? Never EBD. I should know what this is. More people are going through. Yeah, that is true. Can you pull your links? Okay. Can you pull your links in? Let's see what we got. Can you pull up links in your live at Jay Smith? Can you pull up links in your live? I mean,
I could post the link, and any mod can post the link, just not anybody.
Yeah. Oh, if you're asking if you can, no, you have to be a mod to do that. If you have links though, I always tell people this. I would let Cashew drop a link if you want to send it to Cashew, because I think you guys know each other for your deal. Or after we're done here, make sure to come back and drop some links in the comments for people to find you afterwards, so they'll live on. I don't know.
He's asking like StreamYard. There is a way to do that. Yes, there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in vMix there is a way, and actually I was practicing it a little bit, and I still have to practice a little more. But yeah, I could drop a full link in there, and then someone could click on it and come in. But the same link can't be reused over and over. So there's only so many inputs to come in on vMix, and so each link would be a certain number, and then we would max out. So it's definitely like a little easier in that scenario in StreamYard.
Courtney, I asked, and I figured out her name was Courtney, of course. I have 3 YouTube channels. Of course you do. I got a small mic. I asked about a mic because she mentioned while you were out screwing around that she was inspired when she was lurking about getting a mic from us, which I thought was awesome. And I asked what it was. And
that's great.
So I got a small mic to try out for my new real estate channel, and I'm really enjoying it. I might upgrade at some point. It plugs into my phone. Oh, was it like one of these like lav mic type things you just plug in?
Yeah.
Deals.
She's saying it was a lapel mic. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I didn't read the end of it. Of course. Follow through, Jeff. Follow through. I think they're great. I was shocked. I tested mine out, and I'm like, wow, there's really great sound. And with the phone, I mean, I think it's wonderful, and I'm so glad that you did that. That's great. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, the lapel mic is great, and it's going to definitely sound better than your phone, especially you can get a little extension cord and set your phone up 10 feet away and not have the wires shown. There's a lot of things you can do, and she seems like she's always utilizing things to its most cost-effective manner, so that's great. And then if you ever got really pumped up and wanted to learn a little something, you could definitely go for like, you know, some of those Rode wireless mics. You know, they're very good, but they're a little, you know, it's going to cost some money.
Again, that's the beauty of starting where you're at. You're really comfortable with a cheap option. It's cheap, but it works great.
That's
exactly
what I started with.
And I know, right? I had webcams and we had little lights and look, we didn't just go out and buy all this stuff.
We have the same one.
Yeah, we do. We're just nuts.
That's the pop one, right? Isn't that the pop lapel? Yeah, it was $10.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's nuts. $10, and I like it. It's great. I think it's lovely.
Yeah.
And I like that you can just you can go next. You can go wireless. You can build up, but you know, start where you're happy and move from there. Just to add on here, so you've figured out. Yeah, we all figured out what we're doing with 420 and that deal. But yeah. Just to follow up here, share any page on Internet and StreamYard, any page in your lives. I mean, if you're talking about the link, I guess I'm just jointed because of chat, but I mean, we can bring them in, of course, right? I mean, but as far as sharing the link,
they're talking about bringing people in is one thing, and versus other links. I mean, we can bring people in, but I tend not to ever really.
Yeah.
Especially if I've never met a person, I'm not bringing anybody in. So
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we could definitely send a guest call out with a link through vMix and do that. We generally we don't do a lot of it, and then we have nights, and because 420 is new, so it's a good question. Then we have nights where we do invite-ons and have people on either as an invited guest, or we just do a kind of not a free for all, but we're like, hey, if you're around, you want to come on,
right?
And we should do that. I'd love to hear what you're doing 420, see how you're setting your things up. I think that would be very interesting with XSplit. We'll do that one other night. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think you see a lot of other communities like doing stuff. So I think a lot of people assume that like everyone does that.
Yeah, you know? We just don't do a lot of that. And that doesn't mean we don't. We just like to be special, and we like to build those relationships. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some really good information.
Yeah, I mean, I could pull up anything, but the thing is, like, Cashew can only go and drop like a link. So if there was a link for a YouTube or a link for an Amazon, she can drop a link, but that's because we control it. We control it that way in YouTube. I don't know if Jeff does, but I do.
So with you both in live and pull up any page on the internet. Yeah. So if you want me to pull up I can pull up any browser page. I could watch. I mean, yeah. If you're asking if I can just pull up and share a browser page and watch, I think that's what I thought you were asking earlier, but I couldn't tell. Yes, no problem. Just create an input for a browser or whatever you want, or any app. It's all the same.
But that's see, he's talking about pulling up your live right here and put it into my XSplit and stream on my channel at the same time. The only thing is, if the person streaming is not okaying that, which it would have to go under common videos, I think it's called, where the creator is letting you share it, then it would be you can get a copyright strike like that, or a.
You have to be careful, because you have to be really careful, because somebody can bring your whole house down in the chain if you don't trust them. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like if you took someone's video, like, you know, because people used to do that, Jeff.
All the time.
You go 10 years back, people would take another person's video, post it on their YouTube, not make any alterations at all, and try to spin it off as their video. And then so now, you know, the algorithm picks up all that stuff, and you'll get, you know, you could lose your channel on stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that is all true. Yes, you have to have the rights. And so, yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. I mean, vMix can do anything, which is why I love it. I love StreamYard. I think Restream is really solid. I don't use Ecamm because it's a Mac, but I'm sure it's wonderful. I still love StreamYard. vMix is just, you know, it's StreamYard on steroids, but OBS I like. I really enjoyed OBS just straight up at 1.2. Just depending what we're using it for, but now vMix, I'm all in on vMix and the ecosystem. But yes, just to answer your question, absolutely can do any of that. And I appreciate the questions and being patient with us as we're trying. Sometimes as media is a tough medium to understand, and you did a good job of sticking with us. Appreciate that.
Can I
yes, you can.
Show people something?
Absolutely, man. I'll pull you right
so up. if you go to
okay, stop.
Okay.
It's in you in a loop.
So if you go,
let me try to get back out here. We're in loops for some reason. Are you sending? You're not sending anything weird back, are you? You're sending.
No.
Can you? I'm getting you. You're sending. Okay, here we go. Hang on a second. I don't know. That got really weird.
Well, I just put my page up so that way it will stop that until we figure it out. But if I put in streaming in YouTube and in the search, right?
Yep.
And then I go to Creative Commons.
Yep.
If I go and hit that, I could now, these videos that are showing right here, okay? These videos, you can go and reuse the content on your page. But the thing is, you can't just go and put the whole video up. Like you could take pieces about it and talk about it and refer back to things. And then usually I say, when you go into the descriptions of these videos, it usually says that in the description. Oh yeah, it does right here. See it? License, Creative Commons attribution license, reusable allowed. So just so people know that as long as you don't reuse exactly everything being said, you can utilize those channels like that in that particular way. So that's a pretty cool thing that if you didn't know that. So
yep, that's actually good information. I think people, you want to be careful. It's a good it's a good discussion. I'm glad that he brought it up. Actually, I like having those discussions.
Yeah, not everybody knows that. So
no, and I'm so with you on this, Ken. ECam is great. I'm glad that I don't have to pay them monthly, but as far as a platform, I'm sure everybody gives vMix from everything I've heard. I've not used it, and it's probably comparable. I'm sure. I just don't own a PC to try. Well, I don't know a Mac to try, so we can give me your Mac for a week. You take my PC.
I've tried eCam, and the thing was, it was kind of behind a year ago, so it wasn't up to my par, but it's a heck of a lot better. That's like saying OBS. Like I know a lot of people. Sammy says, OBS is glitchy. It's not glitchy anymore.
Not after 17.
It's not. It's pretty solid, man. Right. And so, when eCam finally gave the big update for improving their whole to add people into the stream, other people, and they really upgraded it. It's come like a ton in the last 2 years. So
yeah, I used OBS. I had to use it. I had some issues trying to get my vMix stream out to that Lala stream, and I had to step back into OBS real quick and set some things up. I'm like, oh wow, I think it works really well for what it is.
So do I.
Especially because it's free and it's very stable at this point, and there's some really good plugins, and it does work well with NDI from what I can see. But yeah, I mean, Ken, that's what I've seen too. Again, I don't have any great user access to it, but it seems like eCam has been pushing up a lot of upgrades in the last 12 months.
Yeah. I think if OBS is what it is now, and I was just getting my hands on it, I'd be like, oh my God, this thing is a dream in comparison to what it was.
Okay, so 420 is also a PC user, so we got that going. Good, we're gonna be friends. Rigo, clock struck midnight here, and I'm turning back into a pumpkin, so it's time for me to really go to bed. Thank you.
All right, Rodrigo.
See you in the next
Thanks,
stream.
man. Nice seeing you.
We release you from your obligation, which you have none, to be here. But we love anybody that stops in for any amount of time here and to drop a hi, and I appreciate that. And so while we're kind of tailing off on this last end, why don't we go ahead and I only have a couple of them, but let's try to stump John with a Mythbuster, and you guys can keep dropping information. And I want you guys to play. It's a yes or no question. And so this gets back to why I was doing this originally. Let's see if I can pull this off, John. I got to change my map here. And you know what? We're going to go, sure. I'm just saying. Hang on. Jeff forgot how to use the keyboard.
Yeah, Jeff, that was crazy. I was wondering what was hanging up my computer, because now
that's
it's like
nuts.
20.
All right. I'm going to take off the chat there for a second, guys. So we're going to get some myth busting. So let's just go into
tech
pitch mode. We're going to go into pitch mode up here. Let's go into some tech and streamer myth busting. So I've got about 2 or 3 questions here for everybody. Let's start with number 1. Now, last week we did a couple things on batteries with the phones. We're going to start off with one, John. The question is, Charging smartphones overnight. You know, I can bring us both on screen. Hang on a second. I have the power to do this. Actually, I'm
do?
I do. Watch this, guys. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Hang on. Someday today. Maybe. Well, what's the deal? Here we go. Don't laugh
at it. You gotta use NDI.
Shut up. All right. Now, it wasn't NDI. It was me and I'm using a different way of getting my scenes up. So, just so we can see ourselves. And you didn't do your lean back tonight, but that's okay. Charging smartphones overnight overload the battery. Or your smartphone. Would you say yay or nay on that, everybody? Charging smartphones overnight, leaving it on either on a flat charger, a wireless, or plugged in. Leaving that in all night to charge. Do you think that overloads your battery?
Not anymore.
I'm not getting any answers timely, but we get a yes from our friend at 420. Okay. Vinny says myth. I hope. That's not what is that? That's not even an answer, Vinny. I just
because he's charging it all through the night, like most people.
Oh, I see. I got what he's saying. Roxanne says 9, but she says it in that wonderful French voice. Brian's saying that no, the batteries are smarter, and you just charge. Okay, so that's good. All right, so I think most of you got that answer pretty much right. Let me jump over. It's gonna be one problem I just realized. The answer here, yes or no, is no. To most of the answers, especially Brian's answer and your answer, the smartphones are smart enough to know now, since they moved into those. Remember the cat they moved into these lithiums, but the phone itself is actually smart enough to know to stop charging. But you remember, it's
not like
before that wasn't the case, and people's starting their beds on fire and stuff. There were some planes.
You got that Nokia, like a brick, and then you go to feel it, and it'd be like 100 degrees.
It was absolutely ridiculous. The other thing in here, I just want to point out in the bonus section here, because I created the bonus area here, if you mind.
We got a bonus section.
We got a bonus information. I know. Do not, and I do this. I brought this up. Do not. That really does help. I like the bonus. That's our bonus sound from now on. Don't put the phone under your pillow. It can get hot and you can burn itself out. I can tell you this. Has anybody else done this? I slipped my phone a couple times under my pillow and woke up, and that thing was so hot, dude. I was worried it was melting. So don't do that. That will fry that thing out.
I don't do that.
I normally don't. It was like one of those things where I must have fallen asleep somehow with it, didn't think about it, and just it ended up under the pillow. And I woke up, I'm like,
right.
I better not do that anymore. That was a bad idea right there. All right, so Aaron says now you can rest assured. Rodrigo says you can rest assured. I'll go over here quick. Let's put these up before I go into the next one here, which is going to be about HDMI cables. You guys can sit on that for a second. Actually, what we'll do is we'll put this up as a question, yes and no, and then I'll come over here and just kind of wrap up our stuff on the first question because I don't have a flow yet. 420 says his phone's not that smart. I bet it is. And then Elo drops in with some good stuff here. It doesn't matter because your carrier will make you change your cell in a couple of years anyway. Yeah, but
no way.
Yeah, you don't do that, do you? You're on a John Ryan plan. Probably found your phone on the ground in a mall somewhere.
I save a lot of money on everything I do. I should do a video on a different channel, how to save money every which way.
You say that, it's true, but then, you spend it pretty quick, but you wouldn't have it to spend if you didn't save it. So,
Absolutely.
Aaron, sorry, we are quoting car insurance. What a joy. Nope. Nope. I love the honesty here of Courtney. My phone is under my pillow almost every night.
Oh no.
It's happened a couple times, and I have to tell you, does it get really hot, Courtney? Because I'm telling you, I've woken up in the middle of the night and I'm like, whoa, and it's so burning hot, and I'm like, this can't be good for the phone.
Yeah. The only thing I could say is thank God Jen is not here. Multiverse.
I know. Do you feel pain while holding your phone, especially near the battery? No, I haven't. Do you feel that, Roxanne? I don't think I have that issue.
Some sensitive people supposedly do. So.
I know. I was going to say, some people are very sensitive to the energy that comes out of that stuff. So, all right. So our next question, it's on the screen already. Premium HDMI cables. We all know what HDMI cables are probably at this point. Do they provide a better picture? Yes or no? So...
That's a loaded question.
It kind of is, but all right, let me couch it. Let me couch the question.
I'm not going to, I shouldn't say anything yet.
Let me say we have a $10 cable. We have a $50 cable, HDMI, right? Same length, same standard. So all same standards. So really what we're talking about is build quality. So if all things held standard, should you spend $50 on a cable over a $10 cable? Will it affect your digital picture? The question is yes or no. That's a tough one. It's also a tough question to ask because you're right. It sort of needs some couching there, a little bit. It's premium versus standard.
Should I give the couch? Should I talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I think you should, and then I can drop what I found.
Okay.
I like that.
So different cables have different ratings. You have like 2.1 HDMIs. You have, and that gives them standardized capabilities. So usually like a 2.1 HDMI cable is rated for 4K 30 frames a second.
Right.
And then you could have higher ratings where I think I'm probably wrong about this, but let's just say it's 2.4 could be rated for 8K video. And so, but here's the trick, right? That cable's capable of that, but if your TV isn't, it doesn't matter. So the idea is at the present time is to buy a cable that corresponds with the product you have on the wall for the next 5 years, so you don't overpay for something that doesn't make any sense to overpay for.
I like it, and you really hit on some really wonderful topics that we're gonna drop in here. So, a lot of people said yes. There's a couple no's here. John came in with the old John's going to, it depends. The true answer is no, but you have to couch what John was saying. Standards. So if we're holding everything equal, the $10 and $50 don't matter. The signals, the digital signals, is the same. To John's point, what really we need to know about are the specifications. So HDMI 1.4 has been out like a decade, and that'll get you to 4K, no problem. And to his point, the 2.1 standard is going to get you now from 4 or all the way up to 8K. Now, a lot of people they don't need an 8K setup, but if you want to future-proof,
nobody.
Yeah, nobody. But I'm just like, if you want for future-proof, I wouldn't buy for these prices right now. I wouldn't buy a 2.1. Honestly, I just don't see the point. But I'm giving out the information. You can do with it what you must. I thought John hit it really well. To go for the bonus round here, we got a couple points here that you touched on. I think the most important thing is really going to be the speed rating. There are 4: standard, high speed, premium high, and ultra high. So if you want to do gaming, your best bet is to look at a speed rating of premium or ultra to get as much of that throughput as you can. So speed rating is really going to be critical here, not more than the digital picture, but 4K is fine. The 1.4 isn't going to be as important here. The other issue is going to be cable length. So over a longer period of length, you're going to have more chances of interference. So you do want a better build on the shielding. So that's where maybe some of this depends comes in. And at some point, if you run it so long, you might as well just get Ethernet, Cat 8 or whatever. So there's a little bit of what ifs, maybes, but that's the beauty of this question is we talk around some possibilities. And so I learned something on that one. I appreciate that, everybody. Let's go to our last question here. And I'm going to look and see if we have any, while we're doing that, I'll read the question. The last question is airport. We all go through airports, or we used to. Do airport x-rays through the TSA erase laptop and smartphone memory? Let's talk about that for a second, because it's a very, very sexy topic.
Let's see what people say.
Yeah. Vinny, first of all, is holding up for 16K. and he'll probably be 120 when that happens. So that'll be cool. I'm glad you're laughing. 420. Brian's dropping in with some nerd. 120 hertz, 4K is the same spec as 8K. Okay. Are you running that? Because I mean, maybe for what you do at work. I mean, I don't know anybody's running it, but if you are, then you probably want to think about the 2.1.
They have TVs that do that right now.
Well, yeah. That's my point, is there are some people running that, but not many people are running anything above 4K value, though, really. That's just the honest God truth. But if you want to be ready for it, buy the 2.4 and go for it. And I think this is an honest question. Courtney says, what is an airport? You know what? I used to fly all the time for music.
Yeah, right.
I haven't flown in so long, I wouldn't even remember. I used to have it all down. You know, I was flying so many times a year, and now it's like, I don't even want to fly right now. I kind of do, though. I kind of want to go to an island where it's warm. I'm so tired of being cold. Beanie, it's funny, but I'm not putting it up. I love it, but I'm not putting it up. My guess is no from 420 on the airport. You never fly. No, I don't blame you.
As far as I know, it's definitely happened before.
Yeah, this is going to get into that kind of a deal. So let me clear this out in the yes or no. And the truth of it is no. But it was an issue. You remember back in the day when people were, especially from the film, especially like high speed film, Brian, you could probably attest to this. That was very sensitive to the photons or whatever at the time. So yeah, film can be a real problem.
Yeah.
But as far as our hard drives, they're not going to affect whether it's a regular HDD or even an SSD, which is
SSD,
really, you know, where a lot of them are using these days. Yeah, it won't erase you. Yeah, it's a holdover from the film cameras. I think that's what I was getting at right here.
Right. Years ago, it was issues.
What do I have here? The electromagnetic radiation of an X-ray could indeed do some damage to undeveloped negative. So, I mean, if you're still using that, you want to be careful. But it was specific to high-speed film, which I think was much more photosensitive. TSA scanners won't do any solid-state drive problem. It's pretty much the storage you have in yours. Well, it's not just your, really laptops now for the most part too. And then just a side note, just make you feel good. If you're not flying, the radiation exposure you get at 36,000 feet on a cross-country plane ride is about the equivalent of 2 chest x-rays. So if you're not flying, I guess you got that going for you. That doesn't make me feel good because I can't tell you how many cross-country trips I've taken. Now I feel like I've been x-rayed. I got to go get checked out. But that concludes my myth busting for tonight. I appreciate everybody playing along. John, you too, and it's always fun. Thanks for playing, everybody. We're trying out some bonus stuff. I'm going to bring John back. Trying out some new bonus stuff. I appreciate people that hung out and were playing with us a little bit on that. I'm trying some new stuff. Guess is no. Let's see what we got going on down here. Never fly. What do we got? The most exciting spec HDMI-wise is eARC. I can't say I know what those specs are. Drop that down. Is that something what AI is going to use to make all the robots go?
ARC is it's directional HDMI. It's like when you get an HDMI fiber cord that it will say this is the display side and this is, you know, the output side or the whatever device side.
So it's not bi-directional. One way?
No, you can't. If you have it plugged in backwards, it will not work.
It has to. It's a host and a client. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's called. It says display.
And what makes it exciting? Speed.
The most exciting. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm asking. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason. What makes it exciting? What are the applications that would make that? I'd be curious. I don't really know anything about it, so drop some knowledge on us real quick before we head out of here. 420. I want a person drone to fly. Just saying here. I know you say don't fly.
He won't. Yeah,
you won't fly. You won't even do a drone. Come on, you can do it.
No, he won't fly. He says he'll take a drone, but I'll fly. Yeah. I'll fly.
I don't mind flying. Depends on where, but I used to, every time I flew for like so many years, it was through LaGuardia to New York. I'm telling you, that is not, LaGuardia has been like a third world country forever. I know they got $1 billion upgrade that's been going on. Last time I was there, they really were digging into that massive upgrade. The problem with LaGuardia, it's landlocked. So, they can't really expand like a lot of airports, and that's been a problem. But man, what I hate about LaGuardia is anytime it sniffled rain, they shut things down because they couldn't deal with the water on those short runways. I don't like that airport. The wire must be polarized because it only in one direction. Okay. Yeah, I seriously don't know anything about it. That's interesting.
I want to know.
I got you 420.
Well, how do the people in here, when they're watching a YouTube video, if they have a YouTube video and it comes up that you can watch it at 720p at 60 frames per second, or if you watch it at 1080p at 60 frames per second, how many of you at your jobs, on your cell phones sometimes, that it takes a little bit of extra work for that video to show? So I'm just curious about that, because one of the things I saw a while ago, and when I did, is I see that happening a lot because I know it happens to me. And so then I end up watching that video at 720p at 60 frames per second. And I always wonder why people do that, because you're definitely going to look better at 1080p at 30 frames. That's my personal opinion. And there's reasons why people do 60 frames per second, but I don't think it's always a good reason. I think it's just because, someone told them to, mostly.
I'm with you on that. I think you're just better. I think you're better with the 30.
Does anybody else feel that way?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a great question. We should actually talk about that one night as a thing, because
I wonder if Brian has an opinion on that.
Yeah, general. Brian.
He probably does. Because here's the thing. I wanted to show Common Tag's video, and I just wanted to show how good of a quality and how she uses her own light coming into her house is just, it looks really good. I'm not going to play the sound because I just don't want to get us in trouble in any way.
Sure.
But
bring you up.
I just want to show her video, and this is the one I watched, and I was impressed by just, this is her phone. And I think that looks really good with the light that's coming in. So I was watching this video and I sent her a message. I said, what camera are you using? She says, I'm just using my iPhone, I believe it was. And I was like, well, it looks really good because you got a lot of light coming in there. Now, granted, she can improve the sound a little bit and stuff, but it looks really good. But here's the thing that gets me is this is what I'm talking about. When you go here and you could pick the play of this at 1080 at 60. Now, I'm just curious if she's still here, why she chooses 60 and what she heard about it and what made her choose that. So,
and I'm wondering too if that's just a default sometimes on those phones, and people just go with it more is better. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, but
no, you don't think so? Because I think I don't know what mine was set on default when I got it.
I think it would mostly default to 30, if anything. But
yeah, I mean, so Brian's saying that I'll bring myself back here. 4K 60 is great for sports. Sure. Fast motion, I get that. Dr. Elo response to that is I like 1080 30, just because that's where LinkedIn accepts, not 60 FPS. Does look smoother. It's all in the lighting. Yeah, and then there's people like Brian and I who like 24.
Smoother when? That's
right.
Here's the thing. What do you mean looks smoother? Because that doesn't equate. To me, that's not answering anything. So I want to know, what do you mean by that exactly? Because if I'm just sitting here, you think 30 frames versus 60 frames, you're going to notice that?
No.
I mean, people will say yes. There'll be plenty people that will say yes.
No. I think
I'm saying no. I'm saying no way in hell.
It's a motion-based response. Brian and I have this knack. We really like going to 24 FPS because it actually brings it down even further into a little bit more of a docu style, but you do sacrifice crystal clearness on that. And some people look at it and go, that looks like crap, because they're so used to like 30 or sadly 60. But the 60 is not really buying anything unless you're moving, right? I mean, so I'm not really sure.
I mean, people say no to that too, but once again, I think it's more opinion based.
Motion blur is more about shutter speed.
I love it because I have actually seen people streaming and they were like, yeah, I'm in 60 frames per second. And I remember watching a stream one time and they forgot that they set it up in 30 frames per second. And they're like, no, you're not. You're in 30 frames right now. And granted, that person looked incredible still, but I think it's more about lighting and what you're actually doing while you're filming at 60 or 30.
And so, Brian brings up
shutter speed. Am I wrong, Brian?
Well, I mean, I think there's some nuance to this.
I don't think that's true, Dr. Elo. I don't think
when you're using
true.
the autofocus function. I haven't noticed that to be true, but I can't say I've done a lot of that.
That wouldn't really have anything to do with how many frames per second you are.
Using the autofocus. I mean, what is that? The idea that something is moving fast, and so the frames are going to make that autofocus. I don't know. I've never heard that. That's interesting. I don't know. Brian would have to answer that because I don't know.
No, that would be shutter speed if you're trying to take a picture. But in video, no matter what, if autofocus is on video, it still doesn't matter because the subject is what matters based off of if you're 30 or 60 frames.
iPhones have naturally high
blur.
Shutter speed because it can't control iris, so 60 is closer to natural motion blur. So it's a compromise.
Oh, really?
That's interesting.
Okay. Huh. I did not know that.
Well, see, that does, I can see, okay. See, that's, but you know what? I didn't know that either. And that's a great question. I'm glad Brian was here to drop that. So they have a naturally higher shutter speed because it can't control
Elo
iris.
is right, but it's very specific. Right. That's what I'm saying. What would that specific use be, Brian? That's what I'm saying. Like if I'm just sitting here and you put me in 30 frames versus 60 and what we do, you're telling me you're going to notice a difference in this picture? Looks better in movement. It depends how fast that movement is.
It does look better in movement. We would agree. I think all of us would agree that 60 is going to look better in movement. That. But generally, for what we're doing here, unless you're, doing something crazy, generally that movement's going to be not really show. I mean, our movements aren't going to be that fast. But again, it depends on what video you're making, right? I don't know. That's a good question.
And I also think what people think tends to look better is also their opinion. You know what I mean? Because to me, I absolutely don't think it looks better.
Well, you bring up lighting and Brian brings up shutter and everything plays together and with the iris. And I think this gets back to natural light. Good light can really, you could take a 30 frames per second, drop it next to a 60. Depending on that lighting, man, it's like people are popping off the page on a 30. You
won't notice a difference.
And they look great. Because the lighting is just spot on and some of the other parts of that equation are spot on. I think that's the thing.
There are occasions, that I can tell something's at 24, but the 30, I think, is the sweet spot after I've done a bunch of videos that I like. And so, but people have certain ways they like to present their videos and a certain cinematic look. And a lot of those people choose 24. For instance, Tom Buck, all his videos are shot in 24.
Right.
And if he's not changed, right? So everything he shoots is in 24. Yeah. And you look at his video, it's outstanding looking.
Outstanding. His lighting is still spot on. Of course, he's using wonderful cameras with great lenses. And so every little fine, he keeps adding such great input into what he's doing. And so he doesn't need, I think sometimes people are like, you're trying to lean into 60 to make up for other deficiencies. And maybe that's fine. Kind of what Brian's saying with the iPhone, kind of making up for that. And I didn't know that. And I think that's some really good information. But
there's a lot of technicalities going into that. And I just think, I personally believe there's no way in hell that I guarantee you, if we came in at 60 frames one day, no one's going to be like, oh my God, you guys look amazing compared to the week before.
No, and Dr. Yellow does talk about that where he's like, well, for what we do, 30 looks great. And I guess that's the point. And you try to allude to that you're talking about really what we're doing, right? You're not talking are you talking about videos? Are you most? Yeah, I guess you were talking about videos too. I mean, it is a little subjective, but then again, I just think we really see in this discussion how this recipe is a lot more complicated than just the one piece of equipment or the one, like it's lighting, it's understanding what the role shutter plays, what kind of iris you're working with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't care about any of that. Let's throw all those technicalities out.
Okay.
And come in one day at 60, and I just guarantee you, no one's going to know this difference. I mean, put it this way. I pick up all the little nuances and see everything in people's videos. And I have watched people in 30 and 60. I couldn't tell a difference.
I think it's really going to be hard for people. I think if you did a side-by-side, I'm not talking about, I'm not like, if you're going to bring up a kit, like, there's uses for 60 and that's why they have it, of course. But I'm just talking about what we're doing, sitting head, talking video on a live stream. That's all I'm talking about. Okay. I mean, that's that's a good question, because if that's the case, throwing up, you're just throwing up a lot of extra weight up in the YouTube sphere for 60 that you're not getting any benefits. A lot of time.
Well, my point was too, is I always feel like 60 is just a lot harder for my phone and
it is.
my network at work and everything to run the video. So it's like, do you want people to watch at 720 versus 1080? Because I know it looks better when I hit it at 1080 30. So that's one thing I was asking.
Because you do have to think about the value of the person who's potentially watching us. Are they going to stick around? If you take a size of equal videos shot in 60 versus 30, it's noticeably different. So John's point.
Yeah, but Dr. Elo, you're saying that 720 30. That's because they're upscaling it. So they're taking that 720 at 30 and they're upscaling it, and that's why it looks good. I mean, that's also the same thing what Ecamm does when you plug your camera in USB, and some of the cameras on Ecamm can run like that. They upscale it. So listen, I don't know how they do it. But you're right. It looks good. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. So people are gonna get, we'll get in fistfights over it. But I think, look, I hear what you're saying, and I have been frustrated on my 5G. I'll be out there, and you're right. I'm like, why is this video not playing? And if you do look, it's usually a 60 FPS video that's cocking you up a little bit. And so it is a little bit annoying, and I will leave that video at that time, and maybe I'll come back and maybe I won't. So it's a risk a little bit.
Right.
Well, you don't want to do that. He's only expecting the best in our streams, please. Well, fine. Well, next week we go 4K, John. It'll work out. And I appreciate everybody. That was a good question. That's a great discussion. I'm glad you brought that up. And thank you, Brian and Dr. Elo and all you guys for dropping information.
More than anything, anybody could choose to do what they want, but here's my main factor that I want people to think about is that if you're putting at it at 60 and it's doing like we were saying, and a lot of people walk away from it if their phone is slowed down or whatever. My thing is like, just put it out at 1080 at 30 and let me watch it and have it be smoother. So yeah, that's all.
I'm with you on that.
It's all about me. Me.
I'm shocked because I figured you'd be like, I just need to see myself in 8K. If I'm John, I gotta go get myself an 8K camera.
Me.
Oh, my brother. All right. Well, I think we did some damage tonight. We got some learned in. Yeah, it was a knowledge bomb, knowledge nugget. Appreciate it. Yeah, stream to the lowest common denominator. It's a question mark.
Yeah, it's the majority of the people. Yeah.
I think more, maybe not to the lowest common denominator.
It's not the lowest.
I would say the most universal, if that makes sense. So
it's even above. Most people,
right. Yeah,
most people are go look at your statistics and look at how many people are watching on their phones, right? So basically, did you ever notice that 480p, how good the video looks on your phone? So what is that telling you?
I need to check stats more on that. I didn't, it's a good point. I think a lot of people,
I check all that.
Look, I mean, a lot of people have to pay for bandwidth too. So, if they're on their 5G, that's great. They have speed, but you're also eating up their bandwidth, their allotment time. So there's also that particular issue, I suppose, as well. Patrick said he's gonna go 5K 47 FPS. I mean, that makes sense. That math works for me.
I love when Patrick says he's leaving, then he lurks in the background.
Oh, he was eating some grapes, doing another video.
Probably was.
Yeah, I was gonna go fraction, go like 47.3 FPS, something like that.
I'm gonna come in like a GoPro 10. I'm going to come in at like 4.7K, or what do they have it? 5.2K.
I don't know. I'm always trying to remember because I'd always like, it's like, you shoot in 24? No, man, I shoot in 23.976. It's not 24. You try to do the whole, like, you look cool for school. Oh, no, just shut up. It's 24. Oh, he just got back from the airport running his stuff. He was testing things out through the TSA.
I'm just busting anyway.
I know you are.
You probably got everything erased.
Yeah, he got everything erased. He took all of his film. he takes high-speed film of his kids, puts them in negatives, and then goes to the TSA and runs them through the X-ray. It's a little game he plays, a little Russian roulette with his kids' pictures. Everybody, I want to thank you for coming in. John, thank you for it's good seeing you, man. I'm glad you got your sound worked out.
That was fun with the NDI. It's got really interesting stuff. And
it is interesting. And what I think is interesting about the NDI is what you can do with it. Like, I think we touched on a couple different things, and I'm anxious to explore that with you for some real test cases. I have some real use cases.
Do you know those encoders, which are not cheap, do you know they sell ones that they actually let you go at 4K 60? Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah, wireless. Like, you take the encoder and you place it at the end of your house, and so the latency is like so low, and you still can stream and you got, like you said, the main objective here is you got to have the bandwidth.
Got to have the bandwidth.
But it is unbelievable how awesome it is. It really is.
And it's nice because I have a real practical case I want to try with it. So maybe you and I are going to start a production team and run this thing out of LA. That'd be a lot of fun. 23.976? Yes, sexy. I think so, right? I did that right?
Dr. Elo.
I got all sexy on it. Slider would look smoother in 60. Ducking from a loose punch from John. That's hilarious. I think the slider should be in 4K. I know Patrick wanted it faster, but I think I would get dizzy if it was faster. I think this is a good tempo for me.
Yeah, this is about as fast as you want to go, I think.
We should start talking about 29.97 versus 30.
No, we shouldn't.
Oh my God, that would drive people nuts. Talk about nerdiness.
That'd be a barn burner.
I know. NDI HDX is not as good as normal NDI. I don't know why. I don't know anything about HDX. If you're going to bring nerdism here, I want to know what that is. What do you think HDX is? High def something?
I don't know. I saw the option though. I did see the option. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I know you can pull like HDX in like webcams and stuff that way too.
Yeah, and so with NDI, of course, you can do the PTZs or whatever you call them, the cameras.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah,
that's
pan, tilt,
cool.
zoom.
Yeah, the pan, tilt, zoom, PTZs. Yeah. And there's a lot of cool things you can do with it. I don't know. I got so many other
compressed.
Yeah. Okay. It is compressed. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to use it then. Yeah, and Y1080.
Oh yeah,
30,
I think the
stream, John?
Right. I think what it is the HDX. That's right. I was actually watching a video earlier today, and it's 264 compressed. Okay.
It is.
That's what they said.
8.264.
Compressed.
Compressed. All right. Well, if you don't need to compress, you probably don't want to. but if you have to for a variety of reasons, you will, right? So, Dr. Ela wants to know if that's what your stream
no.
Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? No, what
yeah,
what
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Why 10 a.m.? I'm guessing
Tuesday
this is not
at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm actually cutting out of work early and just to stream with him. Yeah, so
I'll come watch you guys.
I'm kind of excited because don't stream in the afternoon like that usually either. So
I will. I will run my stream a couple hours later. It's going to be why not to use 1080p 30 FPS, and that'd be good. Yeah, and it'd be a counter.
Bye, Roxanne.
Yeah. Roxanne, how you doing? Oh, hugs to you too. It's great to hear from you, see you. Thank you for another stream. Another hugs to you all. Hugs to you. Thank you for coming in. Aini says hi. And it's good to see you. We're going to go to bed too here in a minute. And I don't know, it's always fun. I did like the NDI stuff more than I thought I would.
Yeah, it was cool.
If you're up for it, we'll nurture this idea with what I need to do with this online drum camp thing, and that'd be kind of fun. So it was great, Dr. Ela. I look forward to the stream next Tuesday at 4 p.m. on your channel. Check that out. Patrick, always looking out for watching, the things you're dropping. I have to go check out his pie thing. That probably something would interest me.
So guys, I mean, if anyone's watching, you haven't checked each other's channels out, go check out each other's channels and get acquainted. But looks like most of the people that are in here are the people that I usually are. So yeah.
And I meant, by the way,
thanks again.
And if you haven't, for any reason, I don't think anybody in here is not subscribed to you, but of course, get over to John and subscribe. And we had 420. It was nice enough to go over there and jump on there, and I thought that was really great. And so let's all head over to 420 and give support. Check that out. Give some love back. I think I'm already subbed, but if you haven't, give them a like. Everybody loves pie, Brian, especially. Now, acquainted. I never know, like, when he says good night, ladies, is he talking to Roxanne and which makes sense, like, but then I can see him. Is he taking a shot at us, maybe?
Well, remember, he did say hello, ladies, to us.
Oh, yeah, then that's true. Look, so
it's probably us.
I'll wear that. I don't have any problem being a lady. I don't think you care about that either. Everyday Tech, I'm creeping up on that 900 subs soon. Congratulations, my friend. You're so close. Let's get Everyday Tech. If you haven't subbed, let's get over there and jump on his thing.
So here's the great thing, though. Patrick had a goal by the end of next year. By the end of this year, he wanted to get to 1,000 subs.
Oh, he's going to hopefully.
It's only February, and fine. He's there because he made this goal like a year ago or something. So he's so far ahead. Yeah. And if he keeps on just knocking out some videos, he's going to be right around the corner to getting monetized. So it's going to be great.
Congratulations. It's no accident when you hit a target so early. Appreciate that. Jim, thank you so much. Pi is the most important number in math. Yeah, it took me forever as a kid, like pi 3.14. And I can't even, if you tell me to go past 3.14, I don't even know. Is it 7? I don't even know. We know, man. We take that as love. Don't you worry about it.
That's not my kind of math.
No, it's not your kind of math. That isosceles triangle, maybe a lot of quadratic equations or something like that would be maybe more your math, something like that. Or was your math more like simple. 30? I have $30. I spent $30. I found $20 on the ground. How much money did I save?
my math is dollars and cents. That's my math.
Oh, no. I had 1,100 subs last channel, got deleted. Yikes, my friend. I don't even know what to say to that because that's got to hurt the heart a little bit. Well, continue on, my friend. So, John, anything new that this week, or are we just going to catch up on Tuesday and see what you're doing? Is there anything you're going to try to do this week? You put a video out over the weekend. And,
I put that video out because we actually did a live stream about that. And when we did the live stream, we talked about 30 seconds about it, and that was it. And it got 600 views. Right. And so I think people were going there for the answer and getting frustrated.
Sure.
And so, so I actually did just a video on it, and whatever, we'll see how it goes. I'm just getting back into the groove, and I could tell in my breaths and when I'm talking in my videos, I'm a little nervous. So I'm trying to bring that all down and get better at my videos and smoother, I think you'd be really proud of some of the pre-work I did of this video already that I got coming up. So
awesome.
Yeah, I think you'll be proud of me of how I'm looking at this a little bit right now and putting some stuff pre-hand
packaging
together.
up and getting things together ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
for you, man.
I really got to work on my delivery. My delivery just, honestly, it sucks.
Really?
You know?
I don't know. I don't see that. I don't know why you don't like your delivery. Do you feel?
Because I know everything I do wrong. I'm very I know what I'm doing is wrong. I know that I don't get the hook in there in the beginning. I just go and free flow, and it just honestly, it's not the best result. So, and I need to go in there. I need to get the hook in the beginning. I need to set myself up, and I need to not to give away too much information right in the beginning also, so people stay for the answers. And so I'm just striving to get better at my videos. I think I was on my way a while ago, and then when we got into the live stream so much, I definitely lost the progression on the videos. And
I have to tell you, live streaming is so different than doing videos. It's a different ramp up. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a head spinner to get that going on. And so do you find, I mean, because in the end of the day, it is storytelling, and you can use the old hook, line, sinker, which, as the general path to build a video, which I'm doing. Are you going to then, so you don't forget this, are you going to use your teleprompter more? You're going to script up some bullet points maybe to go?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the flow, and I actually, you'll be proud of me again, first time. I actually got my Word document out and was typing things out so I could just copy and paste it into or take it into that program and try it out, the one that you reviewed.
Right.
And I'm gonna try it, but I don't want to be, because I know it takes practice with a teleprompter to not sound like you're reading off a teleprompter.
Yep.
So I might, either way, I'm gonna try it a couple times different ways and see which way it comes out. But I want to put a little bit more work into the video because I want the results to be better in the end. So,
yeah, and so for you've gotten past through so many pain points and obstacles. You're kind of at that mode now, which is fun because you're at, okay, how do I take this to the next level? You know what you have to do, and you actually have the tools to do it, man. And so I think that's exciting. Patrick did step in here, quote, when we get into the live streaming, basically it's just fault.
It's just what?
Yeah, he's just quoting you about, because, then we got into the live streaming.
It's just fault.
And then it's basically, what I mean to say is it's just fault, basically. And I told John, and I'll say it here out loud, that I went so deep into live streaming, and I thought, that's fine, I'll come out in January, and of course I got hit with stuff. It'll be easy to go right into, and I said to John one day, I feel like I'm starting over, really having to focus on videos. And your answer was, you are.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, I'm making great progress too, but God bless, I'm nowhere near where I thought it'd be because I didn't realize how different it is. And then to try to maintain streaming is not easy either. It does take up a lot of time.
No.
So, and I love it and all that. I'm not complaining, but it takes up time, and we all know this. So I can appreciate you. It's a balance.
Delicate balance.
It's a delicate balance, and no matter how you slice it. I'm trying to really use my tools to bring this tighter. That's why I'm using Mindmap and things to try to create a shell so I don't have to be all over the place a little bit. We're working through it.
Right.
We're working through it, but I feel like we're getting there.
Yep.
We're going to end with Aaron tonight saying I'm doing B-roll to avoid that I'm obviously reading the teleprompter, and B-roll is a great way to try to hide and disguise that. And a lot of people use it. I use it.
Yeah.
Don't run from it. John will use it. He understands it. And, the teleprompter doesn't bother me as much as before. For me, it's just getting back into my groove, and I took on some projects that they're paying, but unfortunately they're eating my life.
I mean, it's like anything. When you're using a new tool, you're going to have to use it a while to get good at it. But once you do, you don't have to rely on it all the time. No. It's not like you got to use the teleprompter for every part, but there's going to be some topics that you're more versed in. and you can come off the cuff and totally be believable. And there's other things that we're going to be talking about that you may not be versed with, and then that's where I feel the teleprompter could be utilized a lot, better. So
absolutely. So I appreciate it. It's all good. And John, we're going to kick us out of here now. They're wanting to sweep the
Thanks,
deck.
guys.
I appreciate you. I'll see you on the other side.
Nice seeing everybody.
Yeah, it's really nice to see everybody. You guys take care. I don't have this hooked up yet to my deal, but we're going to figure it out. All right. We'll see you guys next week. We'll find some things to talk about, have fun, something new. John, we'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Peace.